This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Kevin Kerns of Tri-State Training and Tri-State Fire Protection. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kevin, what is, you do training, you do fire protection. What is Tri-State Training and Tri-State Fire Protection?
So we are a local business right here in Delco. We provide CPR first aid training and many other safety-related trainings across the country, not only in Delco. And then our fire protection division, we go into businesses and we provide them with their necessary inspections for their kitchen hood systems, emergency exit lights, as well as fire extinguishers. And then on the training end, we also sell medical supplies. So that was very big during COVID.
How did this all get started for you? How did you get into the fire protection, fire prevention, training, all that?
When I was 15 or 14, I became a firefighter in Eddystone, and I actually really gravitated towards the ambulance because I have a lung defect, so putting an air pack on wasn't really for me. So I gravitated towards the ambulance. I became certified as an EMT, carried out that career for over 15 years, and transitioned into providing trainings.
With the businesses that you work with, what are some of the consistent questions or needs that arise in training and prevention and protection?
So on the CPR side of things, a lot of businesses think, oh, I can go online and I can get that for $20. Anything online is not real. It's not accredited. It's not accepted. And it doesn't protect you under anything. So it's not really teaching you. If you don't take a class that physically has hands-on training in the CPR world, then you weren't trained or certified, regardless of what a piece of paper says. Then on the fire side, we get a lot of questions. People say, oh, I thought you said you were the state. And then we have to reiterate, hey, we're not the state. This is required by the state. This is fire inspections are required. You want to be safe. Some people ask us, what do you actually do? You are only in my business for 5 minutes. And then we have to go through, well, in 5 minutes, I assessed these 20 things and you didn't have a problem. So that's a good thing. And what you're paying for is for our business to also insure you. So essentially, if anything goes wrong, you got somebody to blame. So when you're getting fire protection, you're getting a backup plan.
And this CPR training, it's really good for everyone to know. Is this something that people need to renew each year?
So CPR training is every 2 years. Some people do renew yearly. However, it's only required if you're renewing every 2 years. And we've trained people as young as 6, 7 years old. And, there's obviously no age limit on it then. You modify and change the class based on the age and make it appropriate. But it could be fun regardless.
I also know, and this may be out of the purview that you serve, but I also know choking is something that can come about and is a hazard to our daily lives. Is that something that you include in your training as well?
Yeah, so choking is a part of CPR training and it's required. So if you ever go to a CPR training and you're not taught choking or you're not taught the use of an AED, you should really question that because it is required as part of the training.
You said AED. What is that?
An AED is an automated external defibrillator. That's the machine that you put up on your body. And we remember from the 90s and probably a little before that, if you go back that far, that it was the machines with the jelly pads and they stick the paddles on you and shock you. So now they're just stickers. And we actually sell those machines right here in Delco. We're the only company in the region who is authorized to do so. So don't go to your .coms, go to tristatetraining.com and get your AEDs there.
Are these the machines that I see in locations throughout Delco, particularly in the gym? Is that the machine I see?
Yeah. So for reference, we placed an AED in every Home Depot in Delaware County. We placed an AED in every Lowe's department store in Delaware County. Every Delaware County government building, we've placed an AED in. They're on your ambulances. We've placed most of them on the ambulances and police cars in this county. You'll go to a library, a gym. They could be anywhere, swim clubs. You could have them in your house if you want. They're not expensive comparatively. An iPhone is more expensive than one of these machines.
I have to disclose, truthfully, if I ever was in a situation where that would come and be valuable to help somebody, I wouldn't know how to use it. And I truly feel like perhaps as we go through life, what you're offering, CPR training, the choking, the utilizing this device, it's all important to how we manipulate and how we go through our daily lives. And I will say, there's no training on it. I wouldn't even know where to find it sometimes or remember when it's there. It's just, to me, that's something is to what you do, maybe getting the word out or maybe helping people through their lives.
Yeah, it'd be great to get the word out there, Rich. Just ironically, 2 days ago, I had to use my skills while at the airport. A woman collapsed to the ground and she was in a seizure. Somebody actually began to do CPR on her. I had to get them to stop. They rolled her onto the wrong side. I had to fix that. What they did would actually cause her to choke. So I kind of corrected that as well. But if I didn't have the training I have, I wouldn't have been able to help. And the situation could have turned out worse had I not been there, had I not been trained, because the people who were actually trying to help were making the situation worse because they were not trained. We all want to help. We all want to do something. Take a 2-hour class. 2-hour class will teach you what you need. Specifically with Tri-State, we have classes at our office in Folsom. We can come to your home. We can come to your business. We've gone to people's shore houses down the beach and done it there. And we actually travel nationwide depending on the needs of the company.
You mentioned with Tri-State Fire Protection, going into somebody's business saying, hey, I was only here for 5 minutes and you're doing what you need to do. But what comes to mind is the same thing as when somebody's choking, when somebody is in need of medical assistance right away, it's having a plan. That fire prevention, that fire protection is about having a plan when it happens, knowing how to use a fire extinguisher or some sort of fire protection system. And is that something that your company will go through to help people?
Yes, we can implement the plans and we follow the codes. And by codes, I mean building codes, OSHA codes, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that is. And there's many different organizations of codes, and we have to find out which apply to the region or the area you're in that, per se, your fire marshal follows. So we'll do that research, we'll do that work, we'll implement a plan, and we'll ensure that you have not only fire extinguishers where they need to be, but we'll make sure they're mounted the way they need to be. We will make sure you have the right kind of fire extinguisher. Not all fire extinguishers put out fires. So, for example, the most common fire extinguisher is a red one called an ABC. That puts out all your common fires. However, if you had a grease fire, you need a Class K extinguisher, totally different. If you have a server room, you don't want an ABC extinguisher. Code says that'll work and put out your fire, but it'll also ruin your server. It'll save the building, but ruin the server. We could provide you with an extinguisher that would save the building and the server. Now, a new thing out actually is electric cars. Our fire departments here in Delaware County have no resources to put out an electric car fire. What they currently do is, for example, I can speak to one fire company I work with. They'll call in a roll-off dumpster company and they'll lift your car into the dumpster filled with water and leave it there to burn because they have nothing they can do because of the ion batteries. However, if you have an e-charging system in your home or your business, we are now exclusively in Delaware County the only company that has access to the ion extinguishers. So there's a new extinguisher out specifically for that. We're even trying to equip the fire departments with them as we speak.
As technology changes, as things get better, more efficient, you need to pivot, I guess, in a way, or know more as to how to handle fire or fire safety. I never would have thought about the electric vehicle fire. And I can't imagine standing by the side of the road, watching a roll-up dumpster come for my Tesla,
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem, my mind is like going nuts trying to think about that. I see quite often on the internet, on social media, about putting fires out with blankets or these special blankets to put out fires. What can you speak to that about?
Yeah, so they're similar to your ABC fire extinguisher. Now, certain fires, those things are going to work on. If you're purchasing those types of products, make sure they have a UL listing, make sure that they've been through the proper testing, because a lot of people like to make a lot of claims all the time. Just make sure, again, they have been backed up by the proper authorities, which typically in the fire industry is UL, which is Underwriter Laboratories. So if it has a UL listing, then you should be good to go. And it's good for what they say it's good for. And the thing with fire extinguishers, they're not meant to put out an extinguisher, a fire. A fire extinguisher is meant to clear the fire enough so you can get out of the building safely.
That's an amazing point, because I'm sure, like many, I do, I think all I have to do is grab that, pull the pin, squeeze the handle, aim it at where the fire is, and I can put it out. And what you're really suggesting is, look, call 911, do what you can, but remove yourself from the hazards of that fire. It's not about your life. It's not about it's about your life. It's not about, saving everything you have, right?
Absolutely. The extinguishers can only do so much. And the goal is for you to get out safely and let the professionals then handle the rest. If you can put the fire out with that extinguisher, great. That's a huge success. However, the goal is for you to get to safety first. And we want you to use the extinguisher to do so.
I'm thinking about that blanket again, and I'm thinking, why can't they make one big enough to cover an electric vehicle? And then we'll cover two birds with one stone, right?
Well, again, that's going to be your ABC material, so I don't think it's going to work, but who knows what the future holds.
Kevin, what can people expect when they work with you in Tri-State?
So Tri-State provides a customized experience for CPR. We actually went and got our own CPR program over 6 years ago, approved and certified by the state of Pennsylvania. So one big concern we always hear is, I don't want to be in a classroom for 8 hours. I don't have 6-8 hours to do a CPR class. We are the only company who can deliver legally a 2-hour class for CPR and first aid. Other people will tell you they can do it, and if they are, they're breaking rules. They're doing things they're not supposed to do. Therefore, you hold some liability in that. So it's a customized experience. And then people find out not only is it CPR first aid, we do fire safety classes, we do water safety classes, we do classes about just seizures. If you just got diagnosed with a seizure disorder, or you work at a daycare and somebody at that daycare, you have a kid who comes in and has a seizure history and you're like, what are we supposed to do? We have classes just for you.
You mentioned your website. Is that the only way, or are there other ways that people can contact you?
So we're very active on Facebook. We always respond within 24 hours. We do have a Twitter and an Instagram. I don't know much about them. I just know we have them. We do have somebody in-house who handles all of our social media. Also, direct email is info@tristatetraining.com. That's TRI statetraining.com. All connected, one word. And then the website is www.tristatetraining.com also, which is a contact list there. You can see thousands of products we sell. When people come to our classes, they learn about different products that we have. And a lot of people express interest in the defibrillators that I previously spoke about. Those defibrillators, we have payment plans, $100 a month until they're paid off. And like I said, they're cheaper than an iPhone.
Kevin, who inspires you?
Who inspires me? So my whole life was about trying not to be like my parents. So it was kind of backwards thinking. Like they always say, you can become a product of your environment. Well, I chose to become a product because of my environment. So I wanted to be something different. But it's a really tough one. What inspires me? I don't think deeply about being inspired. I live for my family. I live for the people I work with. Every day as a business owner, you have to realize you're the last person to get paid, and you're also responsible to make sure, in my case, 15 plus other families are paid to then feed their family, to pay their bills, to do the thing they need to do. So we truly take care of people here. So what inspires me is the people around me, I guess, my family, my employees. Well, they're more like coworkers to me. We're all coworkers. We all find a way. We have open door policies. Come in, talk. Whatever your thoughts are, we want to hear them.
Tremendous. So you are heading to teach one of your classes, and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you going?
I'm going to Phillips in South Philly.
Phillips in South Philly.
If I'm in Delco, I'm going to Liberty.
All right. When in Delco, you're going to Liberty, okay?
Yeah. and they're actually a client of mine. Recently, they did a huge renovation over there. So if you haven't seen Liberty lately, check it out. Just new owners, and they're doing really great things down there.
How about pizza? You've satisfied that cheesesteak craving. Where are you going for pizza?
Oh, pizza's a tough one. You know, I've really been I've been committed to Coco's for a while. I live in Aston now. I go to Coco's in Aston often. So yeah, I'm gonna say Coco's.
All right, I'll make this easier for you. You need a convenience store option. Do you go to Royal Farms or do you go to Wawa?
There's no choice. It's Wawa. Loyalty. Wawa is Delco.
Kevin, how do you explain Delco to somebody who's never been here or hasn't even heard of Delco before?
Well, it's hard to find someone who hasn't heard of Delco. I travel the whole country and I always find someone from Delco or someone who's heard of Delco. But if they haven't, I tell them Delco's a lifestyle. You got to live it. You got to experience it. Um, you're going to know everyone or anyone. And if you don't know them, they know someone you know. You're twice removed. We're probably related. Um, just very, very tight knit place. And it is truly something you have to experience to know. And I've grown up and lived in Delco my whole life. So it's all I know. And people ask me, oh, when are you moving to Florida? When are you going to get away? Never. Never going to leave Delco. It's where I'm at. It's where my kids are. It's where we're going to be.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them or take them to that Delco experience. Where are you taking them? Where are you sending them?
We're immediately going for cheesesteaks. Immediately. So we're probably going down to Liberty and Woodland. We're going to have cheesesteaks. You got to try Big Daddy's barbecue in Ridley also. Um, you know, I'm not someone who goes out to the bar and parties like that. So, but there are some very good bars in Delco, good places to go and hang out. Um, I don't outside of food. I don't know what I'd have them do, honestly, off the top of my head.
It's funny how many people answer. We're very food minded here in Delco, and we want to provide that. So it's you're right on track with the way most people answer. It's all about the food, right?
Yeah, the food we have here, you really can't get anywhere else. People try to duplicate a cheesesteak. It never happens. I truly don't find better barbecue than what I have at Big Daddy's. And I remember Big Daddy's, they're a small business. I remember when they started at a VFW in Norwood with a little spot right out front. And they went from there to a very, very small takeout only place. And now they got a sit-in restaurant. It's just great to see businesses in Delco grow. Even getting your haircut is an experience. You know, when you go for your haircut, my barber, I won't go to anybody else. It's like cheating on my wife. You can't. It is a relationship. You know, so I go to Slate of Hand Barbers in Prospect Park. So John Mancy, he's a great barber. He's been cutting my hair now for 15 years. So I won't go anywhere else. If he's out sick for 2 weeks, well, I guess I'm not getting my hair cut. So that's what it comes down to.
Kevin, you're the first person that's mentioned a barber on our podcast, unless we've interviewed those in the barber and hair care experience. But if you're looking to give somebody that Delco experience, you're taking them to your barber.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My barber, he's an experience in and of himself.
Kevin, is there anything we haven't talked about? Anything you want to share about you or Tri-State on the podcast to our listeners?
We're a small business and don't always look at our 5-star rating and think everything's great because we're human and we're going to make mistakes. If you give us a chance, we're going to fix our mistakes. So yeah, we have thousands of 5-star ratings on Google and Facebook and whatever, but we're human. We're going to make mistakes. You call us, you ask us about it. Any small business, don't just go to the social media platforms and, you know, throw them under the bus. Call them and ask them, say, let me talk to somebody. We want to fix the problem. We want to be on the same page and we want to not only provide you a service once, we want to continue providing service. We want you to refer us. We want you to be happy. So things happen sometimes with any small business. Just give a small business a chance. They'll usually make it right.
What really resonates with me from our discussion today is this is the time to reach out to you in Tri-State to get a plan, to have everything in place, not when you're standing by the side of some catastrophe or you're a witness to somebody needing help. This is the time to make that plan, to be safe, to prevent bad things from happening. And this is a great reminder. So I am so grateful for your time today.
No, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Even something I didn't mention because you just reminded me of it. If you have a first aid kit in your business or at your swim club or wherever you are, we stock those first aid kits because OSHA requires businesses to have services like that. So even if you're thinking of something like that, you want to get a first aid kit, or if you're opening a pool at your house and you want to do some swimming classes. Like there's different things we can do. And if we don't know, we know someone who does do it. There's other businesses in Delco that we refer to all the time. Very honest, reliable people. If we can't do it, we're going to tell you who can.
Awesome. Kevin, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
being a friend of What's Happening Delco. And look, I know if somebody is doing something to save a life and prevent something from happening, chances are it was because of your education, time, and experience. So thanks for what you do in Delco.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have an awesome day.
You too.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.